Hello, I'm Dale Allen Hoffman. So, things getting crazy yet? The rubber's hit the road, hasn't it? I said that in one of my last videos, that it's like as soon as we clicked into 2017, all of a sudden, so many of us were pushed out onto the playing field, maybe all of us, whether you were ready or not, and the rubber hit the road. Everything that all the philosophies and all the different theories and things that we've been working on for a long time, now we're finding out if you're really willing to live it. And I would say maybe not everybody is yet, and that's okay. Everybody does things in their own time. I've never felt so wholly, fully alive and awake and raw and vulnerable and beautiful and creative and sponge-like in a good way. And yet I've also never felt so exposed and sort of this is our desert that we have to go through. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Everybody wants to make everything bad because things don't feel comfortable. But if we just had the comfortable experiences in life, what would be the purpose of even being here? So I've been getting contacted from people all over the world that are a lot are usually asking me about partners, how, I'm really spiritual and my partner doesn't quite, get into that whole thing, or maybe I feel like I'm putting it all in and they're not doing it. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that. I wanted to have a little brief update first on my mentoring program. The mentoring's been awesome. It's enabled me to be at home with my family after traveling nonstop full-time for 10 years and doing it part-time for 26 years. It's enabled me to be here up on the mountain in Asheville and not have to do all the bouncing around. That doesn't mean I'll never bounce around again. It's just right now it feels good, especially since our 5-year-old started kindergarten back in September. It's awesome to wake up and get her on the school bus and everything. It's a pretty beautiful experience that I haven't had in a while. So the mentoring has been awesome. We've been working with just under 10 people from around the world. I record all of the phone calls, which is awesome because I'm going to give you a little bit of a sample here of the quality of the calls. And the quality varies a little bit from call to call, but my end of the call is pretty much studio quality, like what you're getting here from all the high-end gear that I use. And then their end is as good as the line is. So here's a little bit of a sample of one of my calls, just a little snippet with one of our participants, Amy, out in California. So check this out. This is pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we talked a lot about that 2 weeks ago, and I've been trying to be more present and bring that in because I do find myself holding my breath at times.
Yeah.
So really being conscious of the breath and how much it changes everything when you can continue breathing through something upsetting or through something that's made you mad or something scary or whatever it is. The breath is critical. It's critical.
I say it all the time in so much of my work that I tell people, doesn't matter what the event is, if it's something about the Lord's Prayer, the Beatitudes, the I am statements, Gnosticism, whatever, I usually get to the end, or if it's like a really quick talk, like a Sunday talk somewhere, and I get to the end and I, more often than anything else, I generally will say, well, everything that I just said, you're okay forgetting the entire thing. Just remember this one thing. Remember to breathe and remember to allow yourself to let those, whatever's in the system, voice. Because it's so easy to throw that at everybody around us. We sling it like mud when we're not acknowledging the realization that it's actually coming from within. And there's zero exception to that. If you're feeling something, it's yours. There is absolutely zero, nada, yet. There's not a single exception to that. None.
Right.
It's just, it's all ours. But of course, when we don't like the way it feels and someone else is right there in front of us, it's not the easiest thing to acknowledge. So, and now, the rubber's hit the road in a way that it never has for humanity, at least I believe so. So I know the video quality on that wasn't so ace exactly. I didn't really care about that so much. After these calls, each of the participants gets a recording of the call. My end of the call is crystal clear. Their end, as I said, is as good as it is, whatever the connection is. So it's really high quality. All of the questions that I'm being asked and all of the whatever information that we're going over they get to hear it back over and over and over and over again, and they're all telling me that it's the repeated listenings that it's really clicking for them, which is pretty cool. So you're getting your own custom content. You can ask me anything you want, whether it be about the Aramaic Lord's Prayer, the Beatitudes, the I am statements. Maybe it's about Gnosticism, going really deep in Gnosticism with several people. You're pretty much getting your own personal, scholar, mystic, whatever, for the length of time of each call. I wanted to let people know that we are making available now what we would call Tier 2, and I don't know that we're going to put it on the website per se, but if you're not quite able to fit a weekly call into your schedule, I want to let you know, Tier 2, we can spread, like if you do a 3-month plan, we can spread it out over 10 months or 6 months. The plans, even though they go by 3, 6, and 12, we just finished, we're done with the 12-month plan. We're going to focus on the 3 and 6 month ones. It goes, even though they're called, they're labeled with months, it's actually 3 months is 12 calls, etc. So it's like there's times when we double up and do 2 calls in a week for someone that's been weekly, and there's some people that we could only really get every other week, and occasionally we're doing every week. It's really the number of calls. So the people that are wide open and ready to roll, we can do a couple of calls per week. So I wanted to put that out there, and some people are concerned because they couldn't do a call every single solitary week. Every once in a while, there's a case where it'll go 3 weeks before we talk. So it depends on scheduling and all that kind of stuff, and we work with whatever it is that works best for you. So the mentoring has been incredible. There's nothing like me being able to just sit and just be in that deep space with someone, no matter where they are in the world. We've got people in several continents, and just be open to the movement of that energy and whatever's in the highest and best for everyone involved. It's been pretty cool. And the other thing I've said is that if the fees are a little difficult, we work with payment plans. We do that too with whatever works for you. So I'm really in the mode of wanting to help and deeply mentor. I said that for years I was planting seeds. Now I'm fostering plants, nurturing plants, which is really cool. I don't see myself going too far outside of 2017 with the one-on-one mentoring. At least if I do, it'll be a tiny, tiny handful of people. So we can still take on a few more. And we actually have a couple that are getting ready to drop off that started 3 months ago. So we're going to have some new open spaces. That's if they drop off, because actually both of those are saying that they want to renew and do another 3 months. So we've got 3 months, 6 months. It's all on my website. If you go to private sessions and then go to mentorship, one-on-one mentorship with Dale, something along those lines, and it's got the rundown there. Our phone number, you can contact us actually via the website or send a message to office@daleallenhoffman.com. That'll get to us. Make sure you give us your phone number and we can give you a buzz. We've got space right now to be able to take a couple more people in, so it would be awesome to have those. If you're sitting on the fence, I want to say playfully, get over it and just do it, because I'm not sure when's going to be the perfect time. That may never exist. The time's ripe now. So I look forward to working with a few more beautiful souls over the next few weeks. The next aspect of this video is I really wanted to cover what I call old paradigm and new paradigm. I've been talking about it a lot for the last few months. I'm talking about how the new paradigm isn't exactly comfortable for everyone. I mentioned in the beginning of this video how I'm getting messages from people around the world, some that are light workers, teachers, whatever you may say, or just people that have been following my work for a while, and they talk about, what's the best that I can do knowing that my partner's not doing it? Or the other thing is, I'm getting contacted by light workers or seeing others around them that are putting out like a nice, sugary, strong persona, but they're not living up to that in their personal life. And in one way, I want to say, well, that's not my business. And then in another way, it's like, it has a lot to do with what's going on right now in these energy shifts. There's a lot of people that are out there that are marketing positivity and help others, etc. And in their personal life, they're just, still doing things like silent treatments and not going into the deeper aspects of relationship, not wanting to look at that and face it. I'm not sure when the perfect time is that you're expecting. Hopefully this isn't too much craziness behind me, but I don't know when the time is that you think it's going to be perfect to finally live what you say you live when you're out there on the road. When are you going to start living that? It's not going to get any easier. You know, what do? You just go out and do your thing, and then you come home and play egomaniac to everybody around you, thinking it's all their fault. You know what? If you're feeling something, if there's something in your art, in the architecture of your soul, in your psyche, in your nafsha in Aramaic, it's yours. If you're feeling it, it's yours. Okay. So if there's anything that keeps you from being open, awake, and aware in this present moment, to be able to be in presence, is a bushel basket. It's the bushel baskets on the light. If you think that other people need to change their behavior before you can be awake, then maybe it's time to just kind of get off the playing field for a while. All of us have stuff that is obviously not easy to deal with right now. We're dealing with all kinds of stuff. Pandora's box got ripped open and it's all dumped all over the floor, okay? This is our moment. This is what we were put here for, okay? We were put here to live this, not just as a mask. So let's look at that mask thing a little bit too. What is the old paradigm when I'm saying that, and what is the new paradigm? Well, the old paradigm is this. The old paradigm, which is what's been around for decades, maybe even centuries, is that you create a persona, you create a mask, and you market that mask, okay? You have this, whatever, it tends to get sugar-coated. It tends to be all positivity and light. And I know people get a little shocked when they meet some of their supposed, favorite spiritual teachers, and they see them, and they're like, oof, well, that's not exactly what they're putting out there. I've made a really conscious, concerted effort to put out all of the warts. I don't have any warts, but I mean, I've got plenty of issues, all of my stuff, to dump it out on the floor. My beautiful Magdalene wife Loretta and I have done that, and we're going to continue doing that even more so in an even more vulnerable and raw way. The old paradigm is the kind of thing where, and this is the way it's been for quite a while, like I say, decades, maybe centuries, easily decades, especially in what one would call the spirituality field, the new age, new thought, all that stuff. We put something out there and we're really careful to market the thing that's as palatable for as many people as possible. We code word that universal, and we say that universal is better, when unfortunately people are mistaking universal for being something sheened and cleaned and polished and sugar-coated as being universal, and nothing can be further from the truth, okay? I'm hearing it constantly from people across the globe that what they want now is honesty and authenticity. What they want now is people who are putting whatever their issues are out there so all of us can see it, so we can all work with that on a deeper level. Not just all the sugar coating and the candy coating and all the smiley sheen personas. We've had that for a while, and look, man, it doesn't work. It didn't work then. It's not working now. And now we're inheriting all the stuff from a lot of the sort of, head in the clouds philosophies of the last few decades of people saying, I just want to talk about positivity. Unfortunately, now we're having to deal with all this stuff in the shadow realms because of all these shiny teeth people who haven't been real with us. I get it. I understand it. And at the same time, the rubber's hit the road. The game's moving on. Let's get on with it. And let's grow up a bit spiritually and just put it out there. The old paradigm also is something where you create a workshop or some sort of thing and you do your shtick. And it's interesting to me that when I go to see a workshop leader that I love from, not all, there's definitely not all, something that a lot of, old paradigm ones were doing 30 or 25 years ago. And it's like the same workshops they're doing now with the same titles and the same content. And there'll be a little bit of new content added in each year just to keep slightly current. And it's like what's coming down the pike. The next joke. The next analogy and metaphor. Is that really what we need? We need to keep regurgitating an orthodoxy, some sort of theology, doctrine, dogma that we just keep spitting out there, thinking, well, there's always new people to see it. maybe what they need isn't what you've boiled your ideologies down into. Because again, Albert LeChant says that in my video, the DVD, The Word, Albert says that the ideologies boil down and harden and become a barrier for the transmission of consciousness that we went there for in the first place. So I've been really clear to not keep doing the same thing that I've been doing over and over for years, to keep it always allowing it to evolve, so that whenever I'm in front of a group of people, or even if it's just video or one-on-one in the mentoring, that it comes from presence, that it doesn't come from some rote, regurgitated menu that's already in my head, but rather it's open and it's living and it's breathing right now in the present moment, and that we can offer people that. That's the new paradigm. The new paradigm isn't over defining itself. The new paradigm isn't over marketing its own persona, but it's allowing its own vital heart and essence to be empty and open, so that life itself can transmit through it. So that it's not about what I think I know or what I've learned and all of my ideologies and theologies and belief systems and all this stuff, but rather I allow my heart to be open, and whatever needs to be communicated from that space is communicated, so that it's threaded in with my presence. I shouldn't say my presence, but presence itself, the presence of life itself. Because everything you create, whether it's something you want to create or you don't want to create, something you like or you don't like, it's always going to be threaded with consciousness. It's going to be threaded with the overall frequency pattern that it was created with. So whether you're conscious and aware, or you're completely unaware in some kind of dark, over-emotional shadow realm, that's going to lace itself into everything that you're bringing into this world. So what is it that you're bringing into the world? What are you doing when the curtains close, when you're behind the curtain? What's really going on there? You willing to acknowledge that? You willing to acknowledge that you're maybe looking at people? And my wife and I have been really, even us, in the beauty of what our relationship is, all kinds of stuff still comes up. Things come up, but we process it. And it's interesting to see how sometimes we'll still occasionally fall into some kind of like silence, that sort of just sort of not talking and clamped down. And how real is that? How authentic? And I understand having space, but we were put here for this, and there's no amount of overcompensating in your work in the world, your spiritual work, that's going to take up the slack or make up for the fact that you're not willing to live it in your personal life with those beings around you. Because that's where it's real. I say all the time how it's nice to hear about a monk who's been up on a mountain for 3 decades meditating, and, trance states and stuff. That's awesome. It's beautiful. We absolutely need those light keepers in our world right now. But what I really want to see is I want to see them come down off the mountain and be at the dinner table with their biological family. I want to see what's really going on there. What is it that's not being acknowledged? And I say this, really, who I'm saying this to is myself. You just happen to be hearing it. Where are those places where I'm not stepping in fully? Where are those places, those experiences where I'm feeling challenge, and rather than stepping into that and living the things that I'm not here espousing, that I actually kind of shut down and turn off and think nobody's watching so I can get away with it here. And then, of course, what do? Do you change your pattern when someone shows up, like the neighbor shows up? Or let's say that you're some kind of a teacher and then one of your students show up, and all of a sudden now you got your arm around the person that you love, and even though you've got all that junk going on, and then when everybody goes away, you just kind of go off into your own corner again. Is this what we're here for? We're here for that? No, I don't think so. It's been an interesting couple of months already. I've had to even come to terms with some people that I've worked with for years, that things that I didn't acknowledge, like that I guess I knew on some level was going on. I just hadn't looked at it clearly. People that actually are even making things up about the persona of their expertise. And I mean, what do you do with that when you find out that someone's supposed to be an expert on a particular subject and they're just making things up? It's one of the reasons why when people send me a line to translate, I tell them I don't really do that anymore, because I don't just sit there and spit something out and say, well, what's this? What does this line really mean? That's not only irresponsible, it's also really dark. If I'm going to translate a line, especially from the Yeshua teachings or within Gnosticism, etc., I want to have every nuance of the words in there, and I want it to be full, clear, and authentic. And if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. It's just funny to me how there's like so many pink elephants in the room that people aren't acknowledging. If you feel, and I want to throw this out there, if you feel like you're someone who could really use deeper guidance and insight from someone who's not absorbed and connected in to whatever it is that you're doing, I'm more than honored to help with this in the mentoring, etc. I've noticed that light workers really need to lean on each other, because I've got days when they don't quite go so well for me either, and I'm not out there marketing some sheeny clean persona of how everything's roses and sunshine once you whatever live your teachings or walk your talk. It's not always like that. There's times when it doesn't seem to be working and everything seems to be falling apart. And let's be upfront and honest and authentic about that. Everything is out and it's all up. All these voices and frequencies are sounding right now that don't feel so comfortable to us. So in that discomfort, we try not to feel it, and we start pushing down on it, try to keep it from expressing. And what happens when you try to keep something from expressing, whether you're conscious of that or not, you put more kinetic energy into that to actually recreate it even more intensely than if you were just allow it to voice. Because most of these cases where it's the fear and the guilt, the shame, and all these other frequencies, all you need to do is pop it and touch it. You realize it's a mirage. There's nothing real there anyway. But you have to be willing to allow it to voice before you can get to that place. So again, I hear you. I hear all of you that are sending all these messages from around the world saying that they've had enough of the cute marketing, and it's an interesting thing that I see so many new speakers coming now who it's going to be so difficult to market them because they're not a persona or a mask. They're real and they're authentic and they've got grit and they've got that sort of vulnerability. It's not even a sort of, that vulnerability that allows one to essentially stand naked in the world and express from that place that feels the most ugly from inside of your soul, and to allow that out. Because trust me, it says it right there in the Gospel of Thomas, and I absolutely affirm that there's nothing concealed which will remain hidden. That which you bring forth from within will save you. That which you do not bring forth from within will destroy you. So what I'm saying is, are you going to live it or not? Is the rubber going to hit the road, or are we just going to keep going over and over this insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? I'm all for being wide open in this process and supporting each other. Remember, you're not alone. And to reach out in those times when it seems like you can't reach out. It's one of the things I committed myself to several years ago, that if my wife and I have some sort of an issue, that I'm going to reach out. And, no matter how crazy it might get at times, I'm still going to reach out. No matter how much I think it's somebody else's fault, I'm still going to reach out. So right now I'm reaching out to you, whoever it is, everybody out there that's watching this, pouring my heart and soul into the helping you know that if you need that assistance, not only in terms of just in life in general, but if you want to dig deep into the teachings or whatever it is I've been doing, you want to teach it, or you just want to have a better base of it for yourself, or you're not having the best experience of navigating through these crazy shifts that are going on right now, I'm here, and I do have space in the program, and we'll work with you on the level of payments and things along that nature. Check out the mentoring thing on my website, that page. You get to it by private sessions, I believe, and then mentoring. This is what oneness is. It's not an island divided away from others. It's not an island amongst itself, but it's actually, we're all pieces of the whole, but the whole doesn't come from the pieces. The entirety of a puzzle, the whole photo, the picture doesn't come from the pieces. The pieces are extracted from the whole. So as we're all sort of falling asleep in some aspects at time and forgetting our divine nature, there's nothing wrong. As a matter of fact, I highly encourage you to lean on those around you. And to feel like you don't have that, reach out. You'll find someone, even if it just ends up being me. Oh no. So I feel the most tremendous honor, and even the possibility of working with any of you beautiful souls. And I say again, you can't serve both God and mammon. An archer can't stretch a single arrow, or cannot stretch two bows. There's just no way. You got one arrow, you're not going to get it across two different bows. What is mammon? Mammon is materiality. It's believing this. It's believing not necessarily money, but this dream, this illusion, this movie that we're watching is somehow real. And remember, your thoughts do not change your life. Your thoughts only change the movie. They change the dream. Okay? And actually, prior to thought is what you're feeling. Erroneously, like psychology has told us that feelings come from thoughts, it's the opposite. Thought is crystallized feeling, and it's the level of feeling which cannot be enunciated in thoughts. That's where your creative process lies. Whether you can have a thought about it or not, it's that sensation of frequency. It's that sensation of how we interpret what's going on in, within, and through and around us. Whether you can form thoughts about that or not, that's where the creative process is. Your thought is actually that crystallized. It's easier to see, so people think that's the source of creation when it's the source of nothing. And as a matter of fact, it's not even changing your life, even changing your feeling. It's changing your dream, your movie. But you're not the movie. You're what's watching. That, again, that great quote from Yogananda, to become the ever-joyous witness of a stupendous cosmic drama. This is the stupendous cosmic drama, and it looks a little crazy right now. If you're suffering, it's because you're holding on. You're holding on to something that's not even real. Okay? So rather than collapsing down, let's allow ourselves to be open and, come on. We are the ones we've been waiting for. The rubber has hit the road. We were thrown onto the field. If you can't hack it, then just pull off for the field for a while. But please stop putting out all these sugary personas and not living it in your day-to-day life, because that laces itself. That unconsciousness, lack of awareness, that darkness will lace itself into all aspects of everything that you're doing, okay? So I say, just be open, be awakened. It's my deepest honor to work with you on any level, whether you're just hearing my recordings, videos, you hear me speak live, doing weekend retreats, or especially in this mentoring process, because I've been so excited. It's been awesome. So thank you all for being open. I love you dearly. I love you so much, and I can't put that into words. It's just the only words I've got. So, Rahma, friend, deep love, deep empathy, that shining forth of light and heat from the inner spiritual womb, I say to you, Amen. And so it is.